Laura, and today I'm going to be sharing a bit of a behind the scenes look at what went on in my business and life in 2021, and I'm also going to be sharing a bit of a sneak peek at the things that I've got planned for 2022. And I'm sharing this because, first of all, it's quite cathartic for me. It's a nice process for me to go through. It helps talking it through, and also because I hope that through me sharing some of the stuff, it kind of helps you see how a business might work behind the scenes. It gives you ideas, there's tips or something that you can take away from this. So I really hope that you find it interesting and helpful. So looking back over 2021, I mean, what a year, guys. It has not been the easiest. The start of the year was really hard. I think that's going to be the case for a lot of us. January to March in the UK, we were locked down. The schools were sent back for one day and then closed. And when I look back, it was a really, really difficult period actually for me. Personally, my daughter wasn't sleeping. I wasn't getting a lot of sleep. At the time, she was just over 1. Luckily, the nurseries were still open, so she was going into nursery, but I had Finley at home and trying to homeschool and run a business, and all of that stuff was just really tricky. My husband works for the Department of Work and Pensions and he has to be on site, so there wasn't a lot of support from that side of things, and it was just difficult and hard and shit, to be honest. It was just a difficult period. But even when I look back, I know it was hard. There was still some really good stuff amongst that actually. We were able to bubble up with my parents because of Freya being little. So looking back to the start of the year, I started January off with a brand new website. So I've been working on developing a new brand and a new feel for wholeheartedlylaura.com. This was really about me stepping into being a business mentor and working with people around building and growing a coaching business as opposed to my health coaching work, and it felt like this was really me stepping into that at the start of the year, and that was really exciting. And I love my brand, I love my website. Because I'm a designer, I want to tweak the hell out of it. So I probably will rebrand in another year or something because I just like all of that stuff. I really enjoyed putting that website out into the world. And then in February I did Pinterest Magic. So I first delivered Pinterest Magic as a paid live training, and that went really, really well. It was really popular. I had loads of people sign up. Did the live training, got fantastic feedback from that. So that went really, really well. It also kind of positioned myself for some people as someone with some expertise around Pinterest, which really worked well because I ended up delivering some private training for different organisations. So that was really cool as well. So I did that in February. And then personally, we were doing a lot of stuff around our home. So my home's a really big thing for me, and getting it the way that I want it and enjoying it it's a big thing. So we did my son's room and my daughter's room out kind of around that time. Then in March, I ran a challenge. So in March I ran a challenge that was called Creating Your Aligned Offer. It was really popular. I got lots of people in that challenge, lots of people engaged in it. It was great. It was really good for me because I got to understand where people were at in my community a lot better from running that challenge. So that was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed doing that. It was really good. The offer at the end of the challenge was my Wholehearted Business group program. So Wholehearted Business is a 6-month group program. It's designed to be high touch in terms of I don't want anyone to feel unseen in that program. A big value of mine is for people who I work with to feel seen. It's developed a lot over the years, so I'm going to come back round to Wholehearted Business Programme. But basically, I launched it then. It was a certain version of the programme that I have since tweaked, and again, I'll talk about more of this in a sec. And I think I had a couple of people interested, but basically I just didn't get the number of people in that I wanted to. And I share that for a couple of reasons. First of all, because people in business very rarely share when things don't go to plan. But it happens to everyone. It happens to us all. And I think it's really important to share the reality of that. So that didn't work so well. But what happened as a result of that is that I tweaked the programme and now it's really successful. I've got loads of people in there. So I did that in March. In April, the main thing that I did in April was I joined a new high ticket programme which was Impacting Millions. So Selena Sue is a PR coachy person, and she has this course called Impacting Millions, and my mentor Elizabeth Goddard, so I've been in her high ticket group programme, The Profitable Playground, for over a year now. She was an affiliate and she was promoting it. So I joined Impacting Millions. It felt like a really big step, although it's not the most expensive thing that I've bought. It felt like a big step, kind of saying to myself, okay, so I'm going to really put myself out there. So I joined that programme, and it hasn't been great, guys, to be totally honest. I haven't, for some reason, just haven't been able to sit down and really get involved in the programme. There wasn't a very good community around it. It was just a bit crap. One of the reasons I decided to purchase it was because Elizabeth was offering a really good set of bonuses, affiliate bonuses. And actually looking at those bonuses, it's probably been worth it for those. And that was the thing that I told myself at the time was, you know, all these bonuses are probably worth as much as the programme anyway. So I don't think it's a mistake, but it's definitely made me more wary of these kind of programmes in the future, because I think when you're looking at it, what is essentially an online course that is over $2,000, I think it has to be a fucking really good online course. Do you know what I mean? To make it worth that. So it was an interesting experience. I learned a lot from investing in that programme. I still got access to it, and I'm sure at some point I will still do it and I will still get involved in it. But I think for me and my business, it probably wasn't the right thing. Saying that, the bonuses that I've had from Lizzie have made it worth it, and I don't necessarily regret signing up for it, if that makes sense. And she's been very honest about this, and I think she has had feedback from the people that it hasn't, you know, been the best thing that they've invested in. So it's just been a really interesting experience, really, to look at that, I think. So that was that. Also, in April time, I hired some new virtual assistants, which has been incredible. And I can't believe it's actually been that long since I've been working with them. So I had worked for a long time with a VA. She was amazing, but I think as my business changed, as her business herself changed, she wants to kind of go in a certain direction, it wasn't going to work out anymore, and that was fine. So we decided to part ways, and I started to advertise for a new VA. I had loads of applicants, interviewed 6 people, and then I decided to work with 2. So I have Jem, who is just incredible. She does some technical website-y stuff for me and clients. She does a lot of scheduling of the Wholehearted Business Show up. She does a lot of Instagram repurposing and things like that for us, and we're still working that process out a little bit. She's just fantastic. She's amazing. And then I've got Haya, who is fantastic. She helps me with a lot of Pinterest stuff. She helps me schedule things up for my group program, and it's just worked out really well. So having that support and actually feeling supported in the business has just been fantastic. So that's been really awesome. And I love my VAs to pieces. They're amazing. They've been great. And then I also, in April, I did Enchanting Challenges as a paid live training. And again, that went really well. Got some people signed up. Not quite as popular as Pinterest Magic, I think, because it's slightly different. But yeah, that went really, really well. Thoroughly enjoyed that. So I did that then. May, like alongside all of this stuff in my personal life, it was a lot of just, you know, dealing with having a toddler who wasn't, at that point, wasn't even friggin' walking yet, and she was getting very frustrated. So just kind of dealing with that and having fun with her. But one of my goals going into 2021 was to just do more together as a family, and we bought a National Trust membership. I think it must have been around about the March time, and that really helped us, you know, get out and about more, be more outdoorsy as a family, and we had loads of kind of fun off the back of that as well. And in May, we did our garden, so we did quite a lot of work on our garden, and again, that was really positive and, you know, made a big difference to how we lived, really, because we started spending loads more time outside. So that was really cool. And then in June, I did blog school. So I did things a bit differently with blog school. I was so excited. I mean, this is just one of my favourite programmes. It's actually about a whole lot of other content that you can create on the back of it. But I delivered blog school straight in as a live round. I didn't do bits of training. I knew straight away it was quite a chunky course, and we just went straight into kind of a live round of that, where people could ask questions and get support and stuff. So that was brilliant. I really enjoyed doing blog school. I got good feedback from that as well. I really think that, and I'll explain a little bit when I look at what I'm planning for 2022, I just think blogging and the way that I approach blogging is actually really effective. I'm going to blow my own trumpet. I just think it's really effective and it makes loads of sense. So blog school is definitely going to be coming back in 2022. And then we had summer holidays come up. So my son was off school, obviously. My daughter still went into nursery, I think like 1 day a week or something. I think we had her in. And it was just a really nice summer. Like, I did a bit of work. I definitely realised that going forward, I don't particularly want to be working with design clients over the summer. My done-for-you design clients, generally that's the work that is most time consuming, most challenging, and it's a bit too much over summer, so I'm going to change how I structure things going forward so that doesn't happen over summer. But otherwise, it was a fantastic summer. Like, a lot of days, I just was like saying to Finley, come on, let's just go to the beach. And if it was a beautiful day, we would just drop Freya off at nursery, bless her, because if we'd tried to go to the beach with her, it would have been a bit of mayhem. But dropped her off at nursery, and then we would go to the coast and have breakfast and paddle in the sea, and it was just lush. And then I would come home and work in the afternoon, and it was just really lovely. And it was one of those moments where I was like, this is what I wanted to have a business for, to have that flexibility and to be able to work like this without any impact on my income. And it was just fab. So that was really awesome. And then going into September, so September was a really big month for me. It was my biggest income month. It was over 10k cash that month, which is definitely one of my biggest months. Well, it was the biggest month in 2021. So that was really fab. I did quite a few things in September. I just kind of stuffed it in, and this is another thing that I'm going to reflect on. So I had a challenge, and that was the Get Booked challenge. It was around getting more clients. To be honest, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I really think that there was a lot of really good stuff that I put into the challenge. Didn't get the same level of engagement that I did for the first challenge, and it just kind of felt a bit, I don't know, I really enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't the same as the other challenge, and I don't know if the topic was quite right. So I did the challenge, and that was fine, and then I relaunched the Wholehearted Business Programme. Now, what I'd decided, again, this is the one that hadn't worked so well in March. What I had done, and what I forgot to mention, is when I got to about May, I opened it up just to the wait list, because I'd made some changes to it. So I dropped some of the one-to-one calls, I'd made it more voice note support based. So I kind of dialed down a little bit of the stuff that I needed to charge more for to make it, like, you know, for my time basically. So the price came down a little bit, and that was fine. And I signed up a couple of people in May time, so that worked. So that was fab. And then I reopened it in September, and it was brilliant. I think I had about 5 or 6 people join. So at the moment we have 12 people in that programme. When they get to the end of the 6 months, if they want to continue, they can continue on a rolling basis as well. But it works really well. So again, it's designed to support people around all aspects of growing a coaching business. You get community in there, you get access to all of my different courses and programmes. Twice a month we have mastermind group calls, which are fantastic. We have weekly voice note support. I also, at the same time in September, increased my prices for my one-to-one. So my one-to-one in January, it started off at £1,350 for a 3-month programme. I upped that to £1,500 kind of like in April time, I think. And then going into September, I increased that. I changed the structure of that programme. I made it over 4 months, not 3. And I added 2 90-minute sessions. So we start off with a 90-minute session where we really, and I so enjoy delivering these sessions, we really get into the nitty-gritty, we really plan everything out, we really get the strategy there, we talk about what we're going to cover in the 4 months, and we have a really good chunky session on that. And then we have our sessions. You have like unlimited Voxer support, voice note support with me, email support and everything. And then at the end, you have another 90-minute session to wrap up and plan for the future. And that's been amazing. So the price increased to £2,250. And I feel really good about that. And I think I'll kind of go into my takeaways in a sec. But a big takeaway for me was around increasing prices and actually having the confidence to carry that out. So that was a big thing. So anyway, September, increased one-to-one prices, booked loads of people into my group programme. I also participated in a bundle. So if anyone's not familiar with a bundle, it is where someone brings together a group of courses and programmes. You give that course or programme into that bundle for free. They sell it. You can be an affiliate, so you can still get some money from that if you promote it to your people, and you benefit because you get new people onto your list. So I did Coach to Profit, which was run by a company called InfoStack. It was the first one that I'd done of that kind of nature, so it was really interesting. Often you'll see it's like a massive bundle of courses for like $97 or $47, and that was great. I did that. That was really good fun. I'm still getting people joining my list now on the back of that, so that's really helped me grow my list. Another reason, guys, why, and I'm going to get into this again going into actually the next podcast, but another reason why I think it is a really good idea for coaches to have some kind of small digital product, but I'll expand on that in a future podcast. So yes, so I did that. So that was busy September. I did that. And then in October, like right at the start of October, I launched this show, the Wholehearted Business Show, was launched, and that was amazing, and this has been amazing, and I love it so much. So I'll be talking more about that as well. So that was fantastic. I also did, and God, October was really busy as well, live round of my programme called Priceless Power Hours. So this programme is all about having a specific strategy in your business, which is around offering a power hour type call. It's not quite a power hour, but we use it strategically in your business to attract more clients into your full coaching package. It works fantastically well. I've had clients using this strategy and it works. It just works. So we did a live round of that, and that was fab. I also was in London. So one of the bonuses from that Impact in Millions course that I bought that wasn't that great was going to London to see a talk about PR and publicity. And also I did a meetup with Elizabeth Goddard's community. So that was really good fun. In fact, just being in the same room as people and being in London, because, you know, at one point I was going down to London maybe once or twice a year for business stuff. And that hasn't happened for obvious reasons. So going to London and having a night away and being in the same room as people, you know, the PR day was really interesting. Like I picked up some good tips from that. And then having that meetup, and it was just brilliant. So I really enjoyed that. It was really good fun. And then November, developed my new small program. I'm saying it's small, it's not really small. It was meant to be small, it's not. Which is Super Simple Passive Income, which teaches you how to create your first digital product. I wanted that to be a low-cost offer. I wanted to play around with some low-cost offers. So that is £27 or $37. I sold a few of those, not loads. Again, I feel like this kind of reinforces the fact that if you don't give people a reason to buy now, even if it's cheap, like they're just not going to do it. And I don't know whether or not I need to have like a time limited offer around that, whether it's a discount or a price increase or something. But that's actually a great program. Really love that program for helping anyone create the first small digital product. I think it's really good. So that was brilliant. And then I also, around Black Friday, I experimented with doing a offer on my Enchanting Challenges program. So as I said, I ran that as a paid live training earlier in the year, and then what I've done is I've turned that into a course. So I want to run a live round in January. So obviously January is a really good time to run challenges. I wanted to run a live round in January, so I offered a discount on that if people wanted to join before January and get it at a bit of a discount. So that went okay. Didn't get loads of people in. I feel like Black Friday stuff this year, I mean, it was an experiment. You know, one of my big things in business is to experiment with things and then see what happens. And I experimented. I wouldn't necessarily do it again. I think Black Friday is just too noisy. It didn't really fit in. So that was an interesting experience. I learned a lot from that. And then in December, I'm recording this at the kind of like the middle of December, I took part in Lizzie Goddard's Christmas party. So I put Pinterest magic into that in the paid goodie bag. So again, this is like a bundle. So I took part in that. That's been fantastic so far, really good. I also created some Notion planning templates. This is just something that I just wanted to create. Been loving Notion for quite a while. I run my whole life on there, to be honest, and I just thought it'd be really fun to create some templates that people can use as well, so they've got a starting point and a bit of a how-to training on how to use it. And that brings us up to date. So that was what 2021 looked like. Personally, there was a lot of stuff going on in our house. A lot more stuff I'm hoping is going to happen in 2022. You know, being a mum, a lot of that was going on. I joined Peloton. I didn't get the bike, but I got the app. So we've already got a spin bike. So I joined Peloton, and that's been so much fun. I really love Peloton. I really love that for exercise. But yeah, it's been a good, like, actually reflecting back on this is really useful. And overall, it's been a really good year. It's been a really decent income year. I didn't hit my income goal. I feel like something I've probably learned is that I need to, especially in this phase of life that I am in right now, which includes a pandemic, a child under 2, you know, I feel like I probably just need to wind my expectations in a little bit, and that's okay. And I think I felt guilty for not having bigger ambitions and not striving more, but like, it's not the end of the world if I don't hit 6 figures, you know, this year when there's a pandemic and I've got a child under 2. Some entrepreneurs can do that, and that's totally fine, but actually I just don't need that pressure on myself or that worry. I mean, that wasn't 6 figures, wasn't my goal this year, but you know, it was, I don't need the pressure of that. So I'm just looking at my little spreadsheet, but my income breakdown. So I ended up going just over 50,000 in income this year. My goal was about 75, so I'm kind of a bit short of that, but I'm actually really happy with that. I think that's a cracking bit of income for my little business where I work 20 hours or less a week. Really can't complain with that. I've had loads of fun. My clients are bloody amazing. I love working with the people who I work with. I love doing my courses and really can't complain. And also I think given that this was the first year when I really fully stepped into, oh, I'm doing business now, and really went there, I'm happy with that. And I think it gives us a lot of stuff to build on next year, basically. So a few of the things that I learned from 2021, I did a lot of stuff, as you can hear, and I should add, like, this is not how most businesses run. This is just how I'm wired. Like, I like to do a lot of stuff. I like to experiment with stuff. I like to create stuff, and that's fine, and that's kind of how I like to do it. But I did do a lot, and it really felt, especially looking back there, that between September and December, I've tried to stuff in a bit too much, and next year I'm definitely not going to try and do that much stuff in one go, or in that shorter time period. I just felt like I'd just tried to do too much, and I probably tried, there's probably too many offers coming at people. It just felt, looking back, it felt like too much, so I would really need to reduce that down. My group programme is fantastic. A big learning is I really want to double down on that. It is one of my favourite things to do. It really works well. People get really well supported in that, and I just think it's fab. So I'm going to be working on growing that a lot more, and that's something I'm going to get into in a sec when I look at 2022 plans. So as I discussed, I played around a lot with pricing. So I increased my one-to-one price slightly lower, very slightly lower the group programme price, although I have to admit I think it's probably going to go up next year. And I think a big part of this for me, and a big learning I think that's come out for me in 2021, is around confidence. I have really struggled with confidence throughout my whole life, really struggled with it in business. And I feel like I'm just, like this year, I'm just getting round to a place where I feel really, truly confident in what I do. And I think part of it, what it comes down for me is worrying that I'm not good at what I do. And what I've seen this year is a lot of evidence that reminds me that I am good at what I do. So feedback, and also seeing a lot of other people who work in a similar space to me and seeing their work and actually knowing that mine is at least the same level, if not higher. And that's really given me a lot of confidence. And I think when it comes to things like increasing your prices and taking things further and wanting to collaborate with people, which is something that I'm going to come on to in 2022. And I mean, I actually wanted to do that in 2021, do more collaborative stuff, and it just didn't really come out. But I think confidence is a big one, and that's really something that I feel that has improved for me over the last year. So that was 2021. This is going to be a long podcast. Just realised. Usually these podcasts are much shorter, I should add. But I hope that's given you some things to think about in terms of just the stuff that I've learned from my own experiences. And like I say, I'm being really honest here. I'm not sugarcoating anything. The good stuff was good, the bad stuff wasn't so good, and that's fine. That's business, that's life. That's how we roll. So yes, so that's kind of what 2021 looked like. So going into 2022, the possibilities that we've got is really exciting. However, kind of where we're at right now in the UK with COVID. So I had this conversation with a friend, and the truth is the future with regards to COVID is still very uncertain in terms of lockdowns and things. I'd love to think that they wouldn't close schools again, because that's the thing that has the most major impact on me and my bandwidth in my business. But there is a possibility of that happening, and I think what it's done is it's made me consider that I'm probably going to have to perhaps again have lower expectations of what I can achieve and do if we get locked down and if schools get closed again, and that's okay. And I think appreciating that feels empowering, that I am factoring that in as a possibility, and a lot of the stuff that, I talked about this in the last Wholehearted Business show. I talked about holding your plans lightly, and that has never been more important than it is now. There's so much uncertainty, so I think it was just useful just to have that kind of appreciation that we really don't know what things are going to look like in January. Certainly that winter period, January to March, God knows what the fuck's going to happen, fingers crossed when you're listening to this. Things aren't too bad. So yes, so 2022. Otherwise, putting that to one side, I'm really excited about everything. So basically what I want to do is I want to really double down on my one-to-one work. I want to get more one-to-one clients. I love working with people one-to-one. I know some people kind of just scale out of one-to-one work. I don't think that's ever going to be me. I love working one-to-one. And my Done For You, which is my website design and brand design, I really still enjoy doing those programs. I think what I've learned is that, because some of the work that I've done over the last year has been kind of, you know, oh, this person needs a WordPress website. Oh, Laura can do it. And I do it. I don't want to work with people in that ad hoc way. I want to work with them in my programs. And if they don't fit into my programs, I'm not the right designer for them. I want to do the design with Business Mentor. I'm not just a website designer. I am a website designer and a mentor business mentor, and it comes together, not separate. So that's been a big realisation. So I want to do more of that, and obviously really grow my group programme. I'll be putting a lot of focus on growing that group programme going forward as well, because it's awesome and fab. And then I'm going to be doing a paid live training on running a multi-channel show like this. So loads of people have been really interested in the way that I've done the Wholehearted Business show. So if you're listening to this or watching this somewhere, you might not realise it, but this show becomes a blog post, it becomes a podcast, and it becomes a YouTube video. So it gets used in a lot of different ways. It's the core of my content for my business. I absolutely love doing this show. It's been so much fun. I've gotten really good results in terms of podcast downloads and an uptick in people watching on YouTube. So I'm really excited about that and where it can go. So I'm going to do a paid live training that covers the whole process, the workflow behind it, why it works, how to set it up, all of that jazz. So that's probably going to be in February time. Also, I want to possibly do some kind of course program around email list stuff. Email list stuff is really important for anyone's business. It feels like I need to have, not that I need to, I want to have something in my repertoire of courses and programs that covers email list stuff. So I think I'm probably going to look at that, and possibly what I might do as well is I've got a program called the Soul-Centered Planning Process. I think I'm going to evolve that into something that's more around organisation and productivity as well. So those are the things I think I'm going to work on. I definitely want to do something with Blog School because it's awesome. I'm going to retire some old programs as well that don't really fit into what I want to do. I want to create some new freebies for my email list people, so I've got a whole list of those that I want to do. I'm going to be really focusing on the Wholehearted Business show. As I've said, this is my primary form of content. Kind of on the back of that, it's things like SEO for the blog, getting stuff seen on the podcast and working with guests and things like that. I'm going to be doing a lot more research around YouTube and how to make the most out of YouTube. I'm going to be looking at trying to do more short form videos, so reels, Instagram, idea pins, that kind of thing. I definitely want a new branding shoot, and something that I am playing with the idea of doing, which feels really scary, is running some kind of summit. So one of my clients ran a summit this year and it was phenomenally successful, and it just feels like a fun thing to do, but there's a big mindset confidence thing around it that I need to work through. I'm also not sure whether or not I want to do it as kind of a hybrid challenge, whether or not I want to do it in a slightly more collaborative way. I've got lots of thoughts on it that I need to work out, but I do want to do something. I'm saying it now because I want to be kept accountable. So I haven't done a summit. By June, you've got my permission to give us a kick up the butt because I want to do it, and I need to do it because it's out of my comfort zone, and I just, yeah, it's a good thing to push myself a little bit, I think. So that's kind of where I'm looking at for 2022 roughly. We shall see what happens. I'd love to hit my 75k income goal. I would really love to do that. I'd love to get to at least 65, I think. So fingers crossed we'll get there. But yeah, it's been a really good year, 2021. Definitely a mixed bag. But 2022, I say this every year, I've got a good feeling about 2022. I have. We're hopefully going to be having, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see that I am in my that's my kitchen behind me, that I'm in my living dining room space, and I'm hoping that next year I will have an office in the garage that's going to get converted with any luck. So that's my big life home goal next year, is to get the garage converted into an office. So we'll see if that happens. So yes guys, that is a bit of a behind the scenes look. If you've got any questions, please do pop me a DM on Instagram. I am at wholeheartedlylaura on there, or come and find me on Facebook. If you are interested, as I mentioned, I offer one-to-one business mentor. You can check that out on my website if you want to take a look. I'll put the link in the description box below. Also, I've got the Wholehearted Business Group Programme. You can join the wait list if you want to get onto that before the price increases. So yes, if you have any questions at all, give me a shout. I'd love to know as well, what are your plans for 2022? What things do you want to focus on and work on in your business? Again, you can pop me a DM, let me know. It'd be really interesting just to kind of just to find out where everyone's head's at going into the new year. And, hopefully things will be much more smooth sailing, but we'll have to see. all the best, everyone. We got there. We got to the end of 2021. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.